Yo, what is good, everybody? And welcome to a brand new stream. I know there's nobody here right now, but that's how I'm starting it off, damn it. Yo, Nicola, welcome to the stream. I just did a retard and I forgot to shut the switch off, so oopsie. Alright, let's try this again. Let's go through it. Let's save and quit. Because I need to make sure this works. At least, I know it worked last time in my world, but I could not get it to work in the realm. And I don't need it to work in worlds. I need it to work in realms. So it's like, dang. Hopefully this will work, though. Because if this works, it saves me hours of my life. Alright, so now that we went through the portal, we hit the switch. I cannot see the chest here. I can see the hopper, but no chest. We'll go through the portal. Now that should have duplicated it at least once, but we'll just count this as the first duplication time. So that's one. This is two. And this is three. Now we go through the end fountain. I know they say you don't need to go through the end fountain, but guess what? Want to make sure, so... And now, if that was done right... It did duplicate, okay. So I just needed to make sure the chunks were unloaded for sure. Okay. I mean, I did that on my realm. I saved and quit for 5 minutes and then came back and tried it, but it didn't seem to work, so I'm not going to do the end glitch, even though It's Me James says that the end glitch... Why is my character not showing up? But even though It's Me James said that the end glitch has always worked for him and the other one has not, yeah, it hasn't worked for me. So maybe I'll use the end glitch on a different portal or a different end portal or something later on. I don't fucking know. At the moment, though, we'll just attempt to try it in the overworld. Let me turn on screensaver mode just in case my coordinates are showing. They should be hidden, as I saw in the world, but you never can be too sure. I don't want to leak my cords. %, loaded in. 83. 100. Yep, seems to be hidden. Alright, let me pull up stream real quick. Yo, we're on day 4,200. Wow, 4,023. Damn. I missed 420. 4,020 and 4,022. No! I've been offline too long. This is what happens. Don't go offline like me for almost 2 days. Actually, was it 2 days or was it just one? I don't remember. But either way, always play the game. I just wanted to get stream pulled up so I could see the chat without always needing to go and check the chat on stream, if that makes sense. So yeah, now that I got it pulled up, let me just set it back up. Alright. Bro, my phone's already getting hot as fuck. It's starting to overheat. What the fuck? Alright, you know what that means, right? I'm so fucking evil. That does not mean that. Yeah, that means that. Let me take this, plug it in like this. Hit us with some cooling. Oh shit. My inventory's full. Alright, you know what? I can pocket that in the bundle. Oh, but I want our stack. I technically only need half that. Half that. Alright, do we have any repeaters on hand? Repeaters. I have really duplicated stacks of comparators. There we go. I was gonna say, but no repeaters. Yeah. Really? You're gonna hide in this one? Damn it. Put them in the bundle. Go up here. Throw in you. Throw in you. Throw in you. Oh boy, it's dark out. Stealing this bed. Actually, I'm not. Because if I steal that bed, then I'll need to break it. And I don't want to break somebody's bed. So what I'll do... The internet right now is so smooth. I love it. I was able to switch to my sword without it switching back. Buddy, I'm doing something. Hello? That's where the bed was. Somebody stole... Oh wait, it might have been me. Oops. I stole my bed and accused somebody else, or almost accused somebody else of stealing it. Okay, I do love the crosshairs. Also, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but that texture pack that I got, it's one of my favorite texture packs now. And it doesn't even do much. You know what it does? It removes the obnoxious fucking circle. That stupid, bombastic, pretentious fucking circle is gone. Thank God. And there's also a setting for to add the crosshairs in the middle, so yeah, I added that too. Shit. Because now I know exactly where to click to get the maximum result for distance. Not sure if you know this, but on Pocket Edition, like if I click over here on the side, like, well now you can't see it, but I'm clicking up here. So I'm trying to click on the shulker, it doesn't work. But if I go like this, well, it still doesn't work. I'm too far. Hold up, let's do this. Yes, an inch forward more. Let's see. That works too. Yeah, let's see if I can't do it here now. What the fuck? Nah. I have been told this, I have noticed this, and if unless it's been changed, but I could have almost sworn, let me do something real quick. Video, I was already in video, idiot. I'm at 90 FOV, let's go 110. Bro. What the fuck? This might... Okay, well, for some reason it's not working like it used to, apparently. Maybe they've... I don't know. I'll go test it out on my other phone later on, the one that's like in the year-old beta. Hopefully that one will let me know if it's legit or if I'm going fucking crazy. But, like, as much as I feel like 110 POV is weird to play on... Oh, shit. Yeah, it makes it harder to click, too, I guess. But, as much as I think it's harder to play on... Really, Enderman? Bringing a dirt block in here. Or a grass block. I think it does give you a slight advantage if you can... Because, like, everything's getting smaller, obviously, because your field of view is wider. But, like, you have a... You know, you can click on more stuff, you know what I mean? It's... I don't know, it works pretty good, is what I'm saying. 110 FOV is probably awesome. If I had a more long phone, I would definitely use it, but personally, I feel like it's a little too much. 100's a little too much, but I can run at 100 if it makes me... what do you call it? If it gives me a little better... Why don't I have that thing here? Yeah, if it gives me better whatever, reach or whatever, or at least better look when it comes to reach, so I can, like, see farther out and hit people, I could definitely see myself rocking it, but right now I'm just going to go back to 90 real quick. And I feel like it's better for stream. Okay, so we just needed... I'm going to steal you real quick. And then I'm going to... Yeah, fuck it. Alright, let's get this working. I just knocked the torch off the wall. Oh well. Wait a minute. Oh, there's a portal, wow. We've moved the portal, I forgot. Yeah, so about this portal, buddy. I mean, that's good-ish. Let me... Alright, I'm gonna go get my resin blocks. Yo, Bendick, what's good, homie? Creaking heart. The fuck? One chunk, 2 chunks. I don't know where... I mean, I'm an idiot. There's chests everywhere, but... yeah, screw it. 1, 2... 3... I'm so mad, guys. This lag. I spoke too soon about the. Oh my gosh. I'm so sad. I wanted that zombie horror so bad. Bro, I hate my life. Never. I'm doing something. Really? I don't want bones. Fuck the bones. Yeah, I picked up another bone. Ew. I'm too worthy to carry such rubbish in my satchel. Yeah. Yeah, but we should attempt to go to sleep, bitch. Die, motherfucker, die. Time's up, bitch. Close your eyes. Yeah, I'll leave my bed spawn at the moment, just in case. Should be good, but just in case. You never can be too safe. Actually, I think I did this wrong. If I am correcteth, where the fuck is the chest? Am I blind? I don't see a chest. But I know I picked 2 up. Did I do? Okay. You know what? I forgot I had those in here, but we'll make new chest. Fuck it. I got the hopper still, right? Yeah. And really, chest. Oh, wait a minute. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Let me try this. Nope, there's just 2. Where the fuck did I put them? Oh well. Now, theoretically, I could just take this black shulker, put it here, it opens up this way, yippers, and then I can just take the hopper. I'm an idiot. The hopper. Put it like this, and now, if I'm correct, anything that comes out of there will be dropped down into there. And let me see if this works. The hopper is locked too. Interesting. Okay, well, one thing up there. Grab you. I guess I'll use the string. Actually, nah. I'll use the... Alright, first things first, let's grab what we want to duplicate. Yeah, we want nothing more... Damn. Oh, oh. There we are. We want nothing more than the finest egg crates. So... let's grab 4 real quick. Alright guys, I'm gonna chill for a little bit, wait for these items to despawn, then go back through the portal. Alright, this is the last time I'm going to be going through the portal. I'm hoping it duplicated, but I just have a feeling it didn't. So I'm an idiot. Don't really. Okay. I need my fucking retarded. Dang it. I mean, it took the dirt, so maybe it would have worked. Fuck me. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna try it once normally, like they claim it works. I don't wanna, yeah. I don't mind shouting people out, but I don't want to call them out if they're not intentionally doing something, you know? Like, sure, I'll call out people that are intentionally whatever, but I don't want to call out, quote unquote, you know, call out somebody if they're not whatever. Yeah, it's not gonna work without waiting, so... There's our timer, guys. We'll be back in a second. Bruh, I just need this thing to despawn. Just not despawning. Hasn't it been 5 minutes? Holy shit. I don't know. Hey, it despawned the moment I said that. It has been 5 minutes. Well, that didn't work. As I thought. I'll be back in a second. Still doesn't work. Yep, never fucking works. It's literally perfect. And yet again, it doesn't work on realms. False information. I don't care what anybody says. It does work on realms. No, it fucking doesn't. The only time it works on realms is maybe if you turned your world into a realm and nobody else plays on it but you, so therefore you're the only person on the realm, maybe it would work. But it definitely doesn't fucking work on freaking realms with other people on them, that's for damn sure. As we can see, I've been trying this for what now? An hour and 20 minutes? You think it works, guys? Yeah, it probably works on realms, doesn't it? A little salty, because I've been doing this for, like, literally 48 fucking hours, probably, of my life. And it just doesn't work. I mean, what, do I need to go an extra fucking chunk? I do it in worlds, and it works. I do it on realms, it doesn't work. Make that make sense. That's what happens when I try to download the realm, and I still have to pay apparently $8.50 a fucking month because I'm getting the premium realm, even though I'm getting a shitty ass version of a realm that doesn't work properly. Doesn't fucking let me download my own realm. How am I supposed to fucking save people's builds? I need to make a copy so I can then take the copy, use structure blocks, have people come online so I can TP to them. Mind you, I will have chords hidden on, so I can't see where their base chords is located, and I'll just take their structure, or I'll have them do it and bring it to spawn, and so that way I don't even need to be over at their base or whatever, and then yeah, we can copy it from there, and then export it onto a super flat world. But we can't do that if we can't fucking download the realm as a world. Like, what the fuck, Mojang? Yeah, I need to go fucking settings. Global resource size. Low fire. Why is it? Does it need to be above the water? Or does it not work with the chest ESP? I don't know. Okay, so I don't think it would, but I want to see if saving and quitting has any effect uh, on how the game performs or how the glitch works, because chunks need to be loaded or whatever, and in theory, when you are doing it in a world, by going through a portal, you're unloading and loading the chunks, same with saving and quitting. However, on realms, it keeps the chunks loaded for a little while longer than, well, like up to 5 minutes longer than it normally would for a world. So, with that being said, it was a lazy chunk because it was one out of my simulation distance or whatever. So yeah, I ended up making the chunk unloaded, or I unloaded the chunk. I went through the portal, or I should rephrase that. I quote unquote locked it with it, where I locked it within the duping position. I then unloaded the chunks, went through and unlocked it, and then did the duplication glitch thingy a bunch of times. So now, if I make sure the game is unloaded by waiting 5 minutes, and then I load back into it, theoretically, if it only duped it once and I have 8, then I can know that it works only from the chunks unloading and reloading via saving and quitting for, 8 minutes. If it doesn't work, I could maybe assume it might have messed up from going through the portal multiple times. I can't guarantee. And if it does work and gives me a bunch of duplications instead of just 8, because I put 4 in there, so if I should have 8 if it duplicated once. But if it duplicated a bunch of times, then theoretically I should. Oh shit! I should share the stream. But if it duplicated a bunch of times, then I know that the what do you call it? I know that the glitch worked without quote unquote unloading the chunks or whatever, if that makes sense. It just worked by going through the portal. But they claim it works on realms, and you can do it in the end without saving and quitting and just going through portals and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Come on. Just waiting for the timer. There we go. No, my Discord's messing up. Nice haircut, by the way. My hair's still the same. At least at the moment. What the hell? It's saying I'm in the call, but I wasn't at the same time. What the fuck? So, it has two things right now for my phone. I can select audio output, but there's no choice. That was awful. Try it again. Nope. Okay. My Discord's fucking off. Let's clear the cache real quick, or whatever you want to call it. Cache to cache. Turn this on screensaver mode real quick. Hey. We're not dead. But what the fuck is going on with my phone? Okay. Maybe I just need to restart my whole phone? Fuck it. You gave yourself a homemade haircut? Oh, before? Yeah. in a video. Or, I guess in a stream thing, or not a stream, a short. Please have duplicated a fuck ton. Please, that's all I want. It duplicated once. Fuck me. I'm happy, but I'm also not, because that means it works. It just works really fucking slow. Gosh damn it. And these people, they need to specify this shit. Okay, also, I don't know if it works if other people are on the realm or not, because I remember doing a glitch exactly like this. It's just instead of having a chest go into the other chunk, it was you put the chest in the other chunk, and then you had a minecart on an activator rail or something like that. I forget what type of rail. I don't do rails, but you had a minecart on the thingy, and basically you flip the lever, and the minecart would go into the lazy chunk, so it would grab the items and then duplicate them because, well, you know, it's supposed to be in the chest, so it re-put it in the chest while also pulling it down into the hopper with minecart that you had on a, you know, activation rail or whatever the fuck it was, activated rail, I don't know. But, yeah, basically, though, the glitch took forever to do, long story short. So it works. Oh, fuck, I fell. It just takes a while. But with that being said, I think I can work with that slightly. Because if I go in here, yeah, we can do all of these. Now we're bringing the apples. Alright, so theoretically, I'm gonna keep one, actually. Yeah, let's put one back. Because I think it will work, but I just don't want it to not work and then to steal all of these on me, you know? I mean, I guess I could probably name some other ones and then dupe those, maybe. It's the only reason I want these duped is because of the names, but, you know, they don't have the talent of the font. They don't have the font, okay, so. Why did you go back there? Because I was going offline. I plan on, living out there later, but definitely not at this exact second. But soonish. Fuck. Then we'll throw that. Alright, Yep. This is what I should have my alt account doing when I'm out doing stuff. I should just have oh no, then the Ender Pearl wouldn't work, but fuck. Oh well. Time to unload these chunks. This is my life now. I just save and quit. Use the white shulker well. Yeah, thank you very much, good sir. It will definitely come in handy for repairing armor and stuff. I've already used it to repair my pickaxe a little bit, and actually I think twice. And some of my elytra. But yeah, when I get this thingy working, or I mean it's working rather, when I get a fuck ton of these things duped, I plan on bringing a lot of these to spawn and dropping them off. I just gotta dick around and, oh yeah, I need to try to join the Discord. Let me do that real quick. I forgot. Which means the reason the end glitch doesn't work is because the chunks don't unload even when you go back. You gotta wait 5 minutes. Motherfuck. Well, that's not fun. Technically 10 minutes, because, yeah, you gotta set up the glitch, go through the portal and stuff to lock it and in place and stuff. I mean, you don't need to go through the portal, technically. You could stay there in the overworld, just save and quit like I'm doing now, but I want to be double safe, so I'm going through the portal and I'm saving and quitting. But, basically, I want to make sure those chunks are unloaded for sure. So then I go through and I pull the lever, which will then lock or unlock the chest, and theoretically they're going to be going or moving into the chest below it. However, since it's in a lazy chunk, they won't really move, but they'll think they move. Or they will, I guess, rather they will move, but the game will also think they shouldn't be moved. So yeah, then when I save and quit a second time and log in after the chunks unload, that will basically, allow me to theoretically duplicate the shulkers. Do. Well, this is fun, guys. Isn't this the most entertaining stream you've ever been on? We're just balling out. Oh yeah, fuck me, I'm retarded. I'm sorry, Path. Is it working? Bro. What is wrong with my motherfucking Discord? Bro, what the fuck? Hey, Discord, you wanna fuck off and fix your app? Well, it's been 5 minutes. You know what? Let's see if a VPN does anything. I assume it's not this, but assuming is ignorance, so let's just connect to a VPN. Alright, now we'll jump on this. Now I have to restart Discord real quick. Come on. Force stop it. That did not fix the problem. No more Discord for me. My phone died. Rip. Well, I'm still trying to join the call on Discord, but it is not working. It fucking hates me. Right. Time for some of the most fun we've had in all the stream. Sitting here. It's at 57, so we need to go to 2 hours and 2 minutes. And then we can jump back in. Let's shut this VPN off. I don't need it anymore. Eight minutes ago, that's not true. Some IBX toy cat in the background, I guess. Check him out real quick.
This moment shows up in every nostalgic Minecraft video, but what they won't tell you is that if you were here to watch it live, you'd have gotten Minecraft's first ever public cape, which was awarded for going to Las Vegas for a weekend. Whereas the last cape was awarded for killing 5 mobs with a spear. Any spear, any mob, at any point during the weekend, it was such an easy cape to obtain, or was it actually? Because as you might have heard from many people, including my editor, and this email where he was flat out denied, despite having proof that he had done it, actually it wasn't the easiest cape to get, and so capes have gone down this weird path where they went from being elite spectacles to, well, whatever this is. And I want to ask today, why have they gone down this path, and what does it mean for the future?
Fuck you, Mojang.
Also, why does Bedrock have a gay cape and a pancake while Java doesn't? Are they homophobic or something? Anyway, hello, I'm AhQTK8rqYNcyB, and make sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to learn more about the future of Minecraft. But this video is going to come to you, just like a Jank like Elytra, in 3 separate parts. The first is going to be about the history.
No, I really don't care about people that are gay. I just like to say that to piss people off.
None a year to a ton a year. The second is going to be about the problems that the current system has, and the third is going to be about what Mojang can actually do to fix that, because I think that optimistic solutions are great, and one of my favorite solutions is what they did for the very first cape, which was to hold a public vote. One of the very first ever votes, way predating the mob vote, was one where the Mojang on their super old blog post actually let people pick between these 5 designs, and you'll notice that number 2 was picked, but number 1 was actually later reused. But before we get there, what is the point of these capes? Why are people like me so obsessed with them? Well, simply put, a cape is a purely visual part of a Minecraft skin that you can equip from the Minecraft launcher, and it has absolutely no effect on gameplay whatsoever. And so the reasons to care if you like Minecraft officially are none. However, if you've ever sat in traffic behind someone who's paid to have those fancy turn signals installed in their car, you'll know that even if you don't get to see it and it doesn't have any functional difference, people are willing to go through a lot of work for a cosmetic. And so when I first started playing the game in late 2010, I actually looked at all of the capes available at the time and thought, these are so cool, but actually unobtainable. I mean, the millionth customer cape is great, but I'm never going to be the millionth customer that already exists. It's very unlikely that I was going to start working for Oxeye or Mojang, and ultimately the bacon cape is the most obtainable idea. All you had to do is come up with a great idea, give it to Notch, and then maybe you get a cape. But even that was removed from McLee because too many people were bothering Notch about it. People wanted capes, and that's why Minecraft decided to hold that vote and then give out a cape to everyone who went to Minecon 2011. And this meant that even though they were giving out that had only a few select people having these super OG capes. And so even though it might have required buying a ticket and flying across the country, or for people like me, across the world, it would still be a theoretically obtainable cape, and that's what made them oh so cool. And when the 2012 and 2013 Minecons rolled around, a lot of people wanted to go specifically to get the golden pickaxe or the piston capes, and honestly, I was one of those people playing the game a lot on the Xbox 360 at the time, although it is worth mentioning that all of the Minecon capes are Java Edition exclusives, and that's because all of the capes in Minecraft used to be very segregated by platform up until about 2020 or so. Indeed, the Xbox 360, where I was playing, the console later we could call it, had an Xbox 360 cape for Microsoft employees, it had a first birthday cape that was time limited, and then it had this weird funky cape that only exists if you remove all of the title updates, title update 0 if you will. Very, very crazy, but still, again, not really a cape, more just a fun thing, whereas the Pocket Edition had no capes until 2016, when it added cape skins, but still, it's not the same. Having your own skin and having a cape on it was incredible, which is one of the things that drove me to go to Minecon 2015 and later 2016. These events were so popular that even though they sold, tens of thousands of tickets, they were still sold out within just a few minutes because people wanted their capes. And also, it's a Minecraft convention. Wouldn't that be cool? And this huge demand of the capes to both of these events was something that I think later Mojang decided to pick up on. But, obvious foreshadowing aside, it should be mentioned that Minecon stopped in 2016, or went digital, and so too did the capes, although many people would pop into live streams asking, well, if I'm here at Minecon, watching it live as it's Minecon Earth, why am I not getting a cape? Something that
I
Mojang
feel like that
responded to
loaded
in
too
2019
fast.
by giving out the Founders Cape for Minecraft Bedrock, the first cape that wasn't tied to a skin pack, and the first cape that you could get for consoles as well, which had been moved over at this point. This was a really cool moment, but it wasn't repeated any more times in the future. Indeed, instead, Mojang realized that if so many people downloaded this, maybe this is where
Hey,
the
it still
change
worked
can happen.
though. Fuck
and in
yeah.
my opinion, this is where the dramatic change in both the one to none to a ton, but also the kind of quality decrease of capes started to come in. You see, in 2020, Mojang wanted people to move over from Mojang accounts, their proprietary system since they started the game, over to Microsoft accounts, and the way they decided to encourage people was, of course, a cape. And this cape was hugely successful, and honestly, this represents the second revolution in Minecraft capes, and what many people believe to be the start of the issues, because in the same way that we went from having capes for one person to capes for 10,000, this was capes going out to millions upon millions of people, which is theoretically a good thing. I don't think that gatekeeping is inherently good, and that's why they also decided to roll out a Bedrock cape at the same time. Instead of having to migrate your account to Microsoft, you already had a Microsoft account if you were playing Bedrock, and so you got this cape just for logging in. In fact, to this day, you still get this cape just for logging in. This is the only permanent cape that means that every Bedrock player should have at least one, no matter when or how they played. Fun fact, you can actually get two. There is a duplicate version of this that was meant to be a Mojang cape, only available between December 10 and December 13 of 2021. And fun fact, if you look at the maximum possible capes that you can own on Bedrock, your screen should look like this. I have all of these capes besides the Mojang one, obviously, and also the second pan cape, and so whoever knew about it didn't tell me, man, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, the interesting thing is you'll also notice that I have the vanilla cape. This was something they decided to do because they merged Java and Bedrock together for the sake of purchasing, which means that if you buy one, you automatically get the other. This was really good, but it means people like me who bought both Java and Bedrock were now effectively feeling penalized for having bought two games, and so the easy PR solution, just like with the Migrator campaign and just like with Minecon Live, was to simply give out a cape. This was very well received, and honestly, I really like the cape, it looks great, but this quickly became realized, and one of the biggest flaws everyone can appreciate in capes is that nowadays they are given out to literally everyone, and I don't mean that in a really dramatic way. I mean that if you want to get the Cherry Blossom cape, you log into the Minecraft Live server and you hit vote. Instead of, again, going to an event or coming up with an idea, it is, you literally just have to know that it's there and basically press a button saying, I want it. In other words, it's like if achievements went from defeat the Ender Dragon and take her sick and use it to make her potion, all the way down to, open your inventory and you'll get the same gamer score. And although Minecraft does have both of those types of achievements, and arguably it does need both types, there's definitely an argument that if they added all of the early game achievements later, the game would feel very different. In the same way that if the game itself adds, say, baby mobs and a bunch of new flowers, without adding late game content, it's going to seriously shift the tone of the game. The capes have definitely changed in tone and what it really means as a result, but this is just one of the issues. The second issue is how you actually obtain them on a more physical level. So if we say that it's perfectly fine that you can get a cape for killing 5 mobs with a spear, as it was for the zombie horse, or for the copper cape for placing a copper golem statue anywhere on Bedrock in any game mode. Or if you didn't want to do that, you could watch 5 minutes of a participating Minecraft live stream, or if that was too much work, you could just watch 3 minutes of TikTok. No kidding, that's how you got the copper cape. You could do any of those 3 things, and you would get yourself a cape. But the thing that really sucked about it was that if you did these, you wouldn't actually know if you were going to get it. You see, getting a bunch of mobs killed with a spear, it's not something that gave you any in-game notification that you'd done it, or indeed, placing a copper statue didn't say, yay, you've done it, and so we were reliant entirely on invisible metrics. This would be perfectly fine if it was delayed some amount that you could still actually see whether you've done it or not by the time the period was over, but the way it worked was you had to kill 5 mobs over a weekend, and then a month later you found out whether or not the system worked. For me, it has worked every time, but the dozens of people complaining that they don't have a cape either tells me that, well, I mean, a bunch of people might just like lying, but it tells me that there's probably some inconsistency in their system, maybe if your data connection isn't working correctly or something like that, but it means that there is a possibility that maybe, just maybe, you do what it takes to earn a cape and you still don't get it, and because they are one time ever and seen as so easy to get, if you don't have a cape that 90% of the community does, you're going to feel like a bit of an idiot, or indeed a bit cheated, because everyone has this cape that you don't have for reasons outside of your own control. So that's kind of bad by itself, but the third reason.
Fuck you, Mojang.
Did you hear me earlier when I said you could watch a TikTok live stream? This is pretty weird in my opinion, but it's even weirder that there's a whole cape, the followers cape, which was specifically given to anyone watching TikTok. The only way to get this cape was to watch Minecraft streams on TikTok, and to be fair, I did host my own TikTok stream, so I'm the one contributing to this whole problem, you could argue. But ultimately, I think that capes went from being something that represented something cool you did in the Minecraft community to just meaning here is something Minecraft wants you to do. To boost their numbers on TikTok or Twitch, you could get one of these capes for the 15th anniversary. To encourage more people to watch the Minecraft movie, they gave out this cape, and then for some reason also this cape, and then for some reason made a third cape with Jack Black's face on it. It doesn't even look very good when you see it on the Elytra, but they gave out 3 separate capes to promote the Minecraft movie because they really wanted it to succeed. And to this day, I don't know if the movie succeeded because it, a lot of Minecraft players watched it, or if it succeeded because of the the fact that it became a meme about how bad it was. But in either case, it is something that is worth paying attention to, because what they did with the Minecraft movie, took a beloved property and turned it into something marketable, is what they've done with capes. Instead of capes being something that represent a cool time in history, they become something that are used as a way to market and get people to do the right thing, and that might be watching the Minecraft movie or engaging with a server. That might be something as innocent as playing a server to promote the Winter Drop when it came out for this Eye Blossom cape. But if we look at the Progress Pride cape, you can get into the really gritty side of this. So the Progress Pride cape, fun fact, is the only cape that gives you a little warning saying it's only available in certain regions, and what's extra fun about it is the reason you got this cape wasn't as, Mojang celebrating Pride, although indirectly that is true. It was in 2023, back before that became unpolitically popular, but what's interesting is this was given out not just to celebrate Pride, but specifically to encourage the Pride 2023 sale. Yeah, that's right, Pride is nothing unless you're also buying things at the same time, and so to encourage people to check out the marketplace and buy the Pride sale, then obviously what you have to do is you've got to make a cape for that. And honestly, is that not the cynical problem that we've just spoken about the rest of this? Instead of being an organic way to represent love of something, it's become a kind of pay into something system, and ultimately this is a problem for Mojang, and I think it's one that's hard to solve, because part 3 of this video is the hardest. What is the solution? And it's not easy, because Minecraft does have a Minecon equivalent now, an in-person event that only tens of thousands of people can go to. It's called the Minecraft Experience, and fun fact, I actually got a Minecraft Experience cape for everyone on my team. One of the weird things that's happened over the years of this channel, the 14 years I've been making videos, is that we slowly have now started to expand, and there is a team. We need editors, and we need people for all sorts of platforms. Recently, for example, I've been making short-form content and uploading it onto Instagram as well, the Toycat Shorts Instagram account. I'd actually appreciate if you followed that, because if you have to be a notable account on Instagram to stop people stealing your stuff, and notable account is based on followers. So if you want to follow, if only to make Instagram actually take copyright infringement seriously, then that would be great. But speaking of infringement, I do have to stop infringing on your right not to hear about how cool it is that things have expanded on this channel over the past 14 years, to instead say that the solution to the problem is actually the hardest bit, because there are 3 big problems that we've just identified, and it's actually quite hard to solve them all. You see, Mojang could just make capes hard to obtain again and solve problem 1. They could just say 2020 to 2025 is when you've got a bunch of easy capes, but no longer. From 2026 onwards, you have to do something crazy, like go to an in-person event, or, we'll make it for, like, if we make a new boss in the game, we'll give you a cape for killing it, or, ideas like this. By the way, that is an incredible idea, Mojang. Take that from me. You don't have to give me a cape for it, I swear. But what I think is crazy, well, I mean, we need a cape for actually doing the thing, but what I think is fun is that Mojang could, in theory, make a really hard to obtain cape and make that the new norm.
Days played 40-30.
Promote the actual actually cool things they're doing, like updates or the Minecraft theme park. That's a real thing coming. And yeah, they actually have tried having other items to promote these events. They've tried having skins and character items, but fun fact, the Minecraft Java skin they gave out for the Copper Cape actually violated their own community standards, and or whatever, I don't understand why that would happen, but what's crazy is that actually is true, and no one even noticed for such a long time, because who was downloading a free skin for Java, or who actually cares about the multitude of options you have for customizing your skin on Bedrock? A tiny percent of the community, but everyone in the community still has this cape mania, so how do you maintain that mania while still making it better? Well, you could make the capes harder, or I think you could solve the second problem, the easiest one, and just make it so that it's easy to tell when you earn the capes. Have a counter in the game, or some little pop-up, like they already have for notifications. Have something in the game that says, you earned the cape, it'll be with you in 30 days. Or, even better, why have the 30-day waiting period? Unless you're doing really hard challenges, most people aren't going to cheat. You know, I don't think most people need to cheat killing 5 mobs with a spear, and so why does it matter? Why can't you just give it right here? I think that that is another thing, and ultimately, the biggest thing that's actually going to be required for capes to be a decent marketing tool is not just working out why are we giving away so many, and therefore flooding and devaluing the market, but also it's working out the answer to the question of how do we make capes feel like a cared-for part of the game, and not just something we look at when we need to promote something coming out. I think that it's worth seriously looking at integrating all of the cape systems together. I would integrate the console, but obviously that's been legacy for a while, but Bedrock and Java still have exclusive capes. I can't use my Minecon 2015 cape, or what should be my Minecon 2016 cape that was apparently cancelled. I can't use those capes on Bedrock, and I can't use my Progress Pride cape on Java. What's the deal with that? Do you not believe in progress or pride, Mojang? But more seriously, there's a really big issue that is just that they feel undercared for, and anything that feels like it's just there for someone else's profitability might still work for the next quarter and the one after that. But like many things with Minecraft, I think it's worth seriously thinking about how, just like how we've gone from a world with Minecraft news that used to be cool and exclusive that you could find, to it being for everyone who wants to find it in the beta and preview. Like, it's there, but no one really cares about it, it seems. That seems like my experience of people's impression of the beta and previews and snapshots. We've moved from a system where if you could be in the know, you could find something cool, to like, yeah, they're going to publicize it so widely that why even look into that? This is a problem. You need to have people who feel like they're getting something cool and something unique, and are Minecraft capes that? I worry the answer is no. But what do you think? I would like to know. Otherwise, you can subscribe to this channel to see more Minecraft news, and perhaps follow me on Instagram, @IBXToyCat personally, or @ToyCatShorts if you want me not to be removed by Instagram for impersonating myself. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. In April of 2011, Mojang joked about adding microtransactions to the game via a Minecraft store, while in 2021 they bragged about making over 8 billion sales from the actual Minecraft marketplace. How did the game change so drastically in those 10 years? And more importantly, how did a skin pack go from costing 79 cents to over $6? The game that used to have just one price now has 32,000 of them, and I calculated the mind-boggling price you have to pay if you want to actually own everything the game has for sale. Also, more broadly, how did Minecraft go from an indie game with a fixed low price to being one where marketplace, and you can spend hundreds of dollars, and people regularly do? This isn't an unjustified hate piece. I do think DLC has its place, but instead a retrospective of the good, the bad, and the ugly of content created for players, by players, and eventually even by the Minecraft studio themselves. This is all of the eras of the history of DLC, and I hope you enjoy one of the deepest dives we've done yet, because it starts with Minecraft DLC for free. In the very earliest days of Minecraft, the whole point of building was so that you could share your work with others. This might be in screenshots or videos, or it might be by sharing those very well files. In fact, the nature of Minecraft leads to a lot of sharing, not just of maps, but also the skin system leads to sharing of skins, so you can pretend you're Mario or Sonic or any other licensed character, and the whole beauty of the game was that anyone could pick any of these things, or they could start from scratch and build one themselves. The creativity didn't just stop at building in your own survival world, but instead extended to what you might choose to build for others. Many people built maps as the explosion of Minecraft during alpha and beta happened, and many of these maps are lost to the world today, including some that you or I might have built, but there are some which became so successful that even now they are instantly recognizable. I remember one of the very first maps I ever heard of, that I heard of time and time again, and anyone from this era of Minecraft can relate, is this Temple of Notch map. You throw a single gold ingot in a well, and then by taking advantage of an insane amount of redstone, something very fun happens, and let me show you what that is. You might be thinking you don't recognize it until right now, where, oh, it's so weird. How do they... He's blinking at you as he's giving you stuff. It is one of the weirdest Minecraft maps that's just so simply appealing. It shows how you can manicure the terrain in your Minecraft world to make it look like the literal man who built it. I think if I was Notch, I would be very weirded out by this, personally, but I absolutely love this as a creation, and in fact, this was made by FB Disco, who later made many great things, but there is also the example, this was a very goofy map that many people remember, and this just shows that Minecraft maps can do anything, but they can also be opportunities for other people to experience challenges. Everyone knows what it's like to survive in a Minecraft world that looks like this. It's very old terrain, but imagine if you could mix that up by having no terrain at all. One of the earliest adventure maps to catch everyone's attention was this Skyblock. It is such a simple premise. You have one tree, you have one chest with lava and ice, and you must work out what you're going to do from scratch on this. There have been so many countless revisions of this, but the idea was just put out by someone who was figuring, what if you tried to survive in a Minecraft world with the bare minimum possible? And as you can see, there is nothing around here compared to modern Minecraft, but this is an idea that tells so many people, what if you could survive longer and do more interesting things?
I'm second help.
Interestingly enough, if you wanted to, you could build your own temple out here in the middle of nowhere, and I think the idea of having absolutely nothing, a tool to the void in your depth, is something that really added to people's Minecraft experiences. However, falling to death isn't the only interesting thing, although it is very fun, but instead you could fall not to your death, and that could be interesting too, if there were things to avoid. And so for the third classic Minecraft map I'd like to show you today, how about the Dropper? Oh, that was fake, it was blue stained glass. That's very clever. For the third, oh wait, I'm going to fall on it again. No, okay, that was actually real this time. For the third, fun classic map, the Dropper is one of those concepts that just immediately appeals to people. This is, of course, a modern-day remake. All of these are, of course, being played on the Bedrock Edition, and so have some amount of changes being made, but the fun idea of trying to fall, not to so you can specifically avoid death, but what if instead
2 minutes, or 2 hours and 18 minutes. Alright, nice.
Fun, wouldn't it? This is something which has existed for as long as Minecraft has had full damage reduced by water, because people love the idea of changing up Minecraft entirely. Usually you move along the X and Z axis, but this moves you around the Y axis, asking you to do challenging things like dodging clouds or planes, and why is half of the gimmick here trying to avoid blue stained glass? But the simple idea of moving Minecraft to a different plane is so fun and shows how even in this remake of the timeless classic, indeed people are making remakes of all of these, even in this remake you can see that people are loving the idea so much that it works quite well. Minecraft's mechanics are so enjoyable that people will play them year after year, and there are Minecraft maps being made of each of these three ideas even now to this day, which I think is absolutely beautiful. However, these Minecraft maps are just a small subsection of the many which existed, most of which were terrible, but many of which spawned entire genres and inspired people to play Minecraft in entirely different ways, and such is the beauty of the map-making community, something which was kind of taking a hit when it came to the console edition. This is an interesting tale because Notch, the man himself, not the weird temple, specifically didn't want to bring Minecraft to consoles. This is because he was quite insistent on developing Minecraft himself rather than hiring a porting studio, and when you look at the Minecraft community on the Java edition, it specifically thrived from making their own content in the form of servers, yes, but also specifically in making their own maps and skins. The console specifically would not be able to do this because console manufacturers have very strict rules on how you can use their hardware and the internet together. You can't download any games from the wide open internet. No, you must use their store or use their discs, but more importantly, you cannot modify that game in any way, and this includes in setting up your own servers or even playing on others, and specifically, this means you cannot download other people's save files for all sorts of reasons, but basically, console manufacturers don't like to deal with all of the things which PC gamers take for granted. This presented very big difficulties when Minecraft was officially confirmed to be coming to the Xbox 360, ported by renowned porters, 4J Studios. They were going to make Minecraft work on one of these, but with all of those restrictions in place, place, how is Minecraft going to work in the slightest? I mean, even just the issue of skins, is everyone going to have to play as Steve? Well, they had an interesting solution to that. And being honest, they specifically needed one because they built Minecraft on the Xbox 360, not just as a way to play Minecraft, but on a home console, but also specifically as a way to play Minecraft split screen with your friends on a couch. This fun trailer shows them doing this at the Mojang Studios, but it is of course something which they did want people to do, and it wouldn't work at all when there was just one Minecraft skin. Later they were going to add Alex, but even 2 Minecraft skins wouldn't fit the whole 4 players that you could do in a normal split screen game. And so what was the 4J Studios solution to not being able to upload custom skins?
I'm
but also
duplicating
not being able
right
to
now,
have
bro.
every player have the same skin? Well, I think it was quite creative because I present to you Tennis Steve, also known as 2-player Steve, because if you joined a game that someone was already playing, you could be Steve as well, but to differentiate you from him, you had this lovely white outfit. Also, there was Tuxedo Steve for 3rd player, Athlete Steve for 4th player, and then so on and so forth for Scottish Steve, Prisoner Steve, Cyclist Steve, and Boxer Steve. Interestingly, this last one was the rarest originally. However, after a while, people started to develop a preference for joining a game at a certain point in time. I mean, who wouldn't want to be a Tuxedo Steve after all? And so 4J Studios introduced something which is surprisingly a first in Minecraft to this day, which was the ability to pick your skin in the game itself. No going to Minecraft.net or making an account somewhere else. Instead, you could pick any of these 8 Steves directly in the game itself, which meant that now 2 people could pick the same skin again. This was perhaps a problem to some, and it was a problem that 4J Studios were ready to sell the solution for, because Skin Pack 1 launched on July 16th of 2012, costing 160 Microsoft points. It was, to be fair, a very controversial DLC at the time, with people saying having to pay for skins is the stupidest thing in the world, that being a very common verdict, and also a lot of people saying they're going to stick with the default Tuxedo skins, player free is the best player, etc. There were many people who were offended at the idea of having to pay for skins in a game where previously this was free. However, to add value to this, 4J Studios decided to speak to Game Studios and officially license their characters so you could actually play as for instance, the Gears of War person, or you could play as the Master Chief or Banjo from Banjo-Kazooie, and unlike all of the free Java equivalents, these skins were officially licensed and so could exist on a console market, and so that's exactly what happened. And in fact, not only did people buy these, but they bought them in their millions, making it so successful that 4J Studios immediately shifted gear from not just making skin packs, but also working on a brand new mashup pack. So, as game developers, 4J happened to have a decent connection with BioWare, and so they pitched to them the idea of making a Mass Effect, not just skin pack or texture pack, as they later started doing, but instead
we were at
making
2
an
hours,
entire
22
world
minutes, 22
specifically
seconds.
for the texture pack that they were making and the skin pack they were going with, so that you could play in Minecraft but feel like you were in the Mass Effect world.
Okay,
and this was
bye.
the
I
start
don't know
of
why you're
something
dipping,
quite
but okay.
revolutionary in the DLC world, because instead of just releasing it and saying you have to pay to take it out, they instead had one of the most friendly trial systems around by saying anyone could download the map and look around it and see what they'd made, but instead if you wanted to save it, that is when you'd have to pay them. It also launched at an incredibly low price point of £2.69 or $3.99, and you would be able to use each of these elements individually from each other, which in my opinion is a massive deal, and is one of the reasons why the Mashup Pack really caught on, was because you got to experience this world, as you can see in this trailer, it's looking pretty good, but you also got to experience the skins and the texture pack, although, if we were being totally honest, experience the texture pack is about the most positive thing anyone has ever said about the Mass Effect Mashup Pack. It is very much a texture pack designed to be used on this world and this world only. The idea is solid, but the execution, not so much. However, this is something that 4J Studios massively improved upon when it came to the natural texture pack, the plastic texture pack, and the fantasy texture pack, among many others, which they did start to release, again, kind of breaking the wall on this form of DLC. It might have made sense for skin packs, given the scarcity of skins and the inability to upload. It might have made sense for the mashup packs, because obviously there was no way to share worlds so easily, but texture packs felt like a little bit they were just going to do what people had done for free forever and just charge for it because they were 4J Studios. Something they could do, however, to kind of balance this fear, was every one of these texture packs could have updates the moment a Minecraft update came out, which was something they committed to at the time and are still doing to this day. You can play one of these texture packs that you bought in 2012 and it's still getting updates now, which is something that is very consumer friendly. Indeed, I think the mashup packs are the most consumer friendly of these entire bundles, because they are not just a world you can look at and is pretty and comes with skins and texture packs, but actually are full-on worlds you can explore and do quests in. And although that sounds hyperbolic and like it comes from an audience that maybe aren't used to seeing maps, the truth is 4J Studios did hire a lot of art graduates specifically to work on these, and it made maps that weren't just beautiful, but were very functional. And rather than just trying to, explain it to you, why don't I show you precisely what I mean with this mashup pack? Because the Mass Effect mashup pack, or N7 mashup if you're playing on Bedrock, might have been the first awesome and honestly kind of the trial for the whole concept, but it shows just how fun this idea can be to experience a fully immersive version of another world in Minecraft. It does have some severe pitfalls in terms of how much of the world it covers, and they did more than fix it for this next mashup pack, because the Skyrim mashup pack, or Dragonborn if you're playing on the Bedrock edition, There is a really dumb reason we'll get into as to why these packs have different names if you're playing Bedrock. You want it to be a good explanation, but sadly it just makes you more disappointed. But the reason that this came about was because, funnily enough, 4J Studios had a decent connection with Bethesda and Todd Howard. And Todd Howard, the studio lead of Bethesda at the time of Skyrim, the massive phenomenon, had worked on a giant game that obviously he had children that weren't of the legal age to play it. And so the idea of having this in Minecraft was a pretty good idea for them. And so this was a license they gave to allow the Minecraft team to make one of these inside of it. And indeed, this isn't just making one small part of the Skyrim world, although it's a nice little part. Riverrun is everyone's first town, but also it made a lot of the other key quest components. This is one of the first major dungeons you go into. Look at that. They built it right here, including the lock on the door. And then even better, do you know Whiterun, the big town where someone took an arrow to the knee once? You can take an arrow to the knee in Minecraft in this exact same replica. I love this. I think it's crazy to see because, again, looking around this map, you don't just realize the cool things they've done, but also what you can do in Minecraft if you set your mind to it. Admittedly, I always felt like it's weird to have a forced texture pack for these worlds because they kind of take away some of the creativity. If you make your textures from scratch, you can build anything in Minecraft, sure, but looking around this, it's a reminder that you can build basically any video game in Minecraft, and honestly, it's not just, implicitly allowed, it's actively encouraged because 4J Studios, the people who would sell you the game, would do this themselves and let you look around at the masterpiece. I have bought the Skyrim mashup pack, but even if I hadn't, I can still look around this world, this whole cross-section of Skyrim, and appreciate what they have to offer. By the way, this is limited to a console edition size world that is 864 by 864, but they really do cover as much of this as they can. And although this pack has a few rough edges, after this pack onwards, they made sure they covered every single edge of it, not just with rough terrain like you can see here, but actually with real legit builds, which I think is a really wild thing. But yeah, if you've never seen the console edition world border, then here you go. There's no Skyrim out there, sadly. What you will find, at least a little bit interesting though, is Minecraft Halo Edition, the Halo mashup pack, or if you're playing Bedrock, the Master Chief mashup pack, I believe it's called. Again, really silly change names for all of these, but something that is interesting about this map is they did release this world way back. It's the third mashup pack. It's over 10 years old now, but despite that, as the console edition and indeed Bedrock got updates, they have not just updated the textures, like I mentioned they've done before, so you'll find that there is concrete powder and concrete, despite the fact that these came out years after this, but also there were other Halo games that released between the launch of this mashup pack and the, right at the current day, but they've updated the world to include little bits from each of those. They made the world extra cool, and they didn't even publicize it. They just kind of do it in the background, and that to me is what I think is a key component in why these mashup packs are so fondly remembered. It wasn't just a basic commercial relationship of they're going to sell you some world and say, haha, we got your money, but instead they treated it as a delicate thing that they would update for a decent amount of foreseeable time, giving you actual updates and giving you things that weren't possible when it first released, something I absolutely love. This map is really, really fun in my opinion because it does include not just an overworld, which is updated, but also they go through the Nether and they make that specifically interesting as well, something I loved and was a first for a mashup pack. And so yeah, if you wanted to do the disc hunt, which is to find every single music disc, this world actually had that in a very interesting way. Also, look at this. It's a Nether fortress, but they blur it into this Halo mess, and they also make it more interesting in many parts. I love this as a concept. Just studios that they're really borrowing the concept of, making Minecraft a more interesting world to explore, combining elements of something else you really...
Guys, this is probably not fun for you, but if this dupe works again, I'm probably just going to end stream soonish and continue to do the dupe while I'm doing other stuff. Just, I gotta wait 10 minutes basically anyway, or 5 minutes each time, so 10 minutes per dupe, so I might as well be doing stuff while I'm waiting,
enjoy is a really great way to pay homage to all of these, studios that they're really borrowing the concept from. And yeah, absolutely love this in so many ways. Look at this. This looks exactly like Magma. I assumed it was. I jumped in. I made a mistake, but it's so cool. You know what else is cool though? The Festive Mashup Pack, also known on Bedrock as it's the Festive Mashup Pack. Oh, they didn't change the name for once. That's incredible. But the Festive Mashup Pack was released, as you can imagine, specifically for the festive season. I feel like if any of them are going to be renamed, something about the festive season, like that's, something about holidays is like controversial in United States politics, which is what Mojang seems to draw their current biases from. So I'm surprised that this is allowed, but apparently this is the first one that hasn't had its name
Merry
changed.
fucking
See,
Christmas.
it's a cutesy little village that actually isn't just a normal village, but instead functions as Santa's workshop. So over here is where they build this is where they distribute them or something like that. And over here on the other side of the Christmas tree is where they actually manufacture all of those presents. Every single child in the world gets their presents from this place. I can't believe I'm used to the battle map more than this. This is weird. This isn't a factory at all. This is a place where they build some stuff. What is fun about this to me is they use this world again, as you might know, to make the battle map so you could play against each other in a Hunger Games style. But what I really love about this, regardless, here we go. This is what is to the left bit in the battle map. This is the workshop, and so yeah, you kind of get this look around a festive world where they have conveyor belt lines making all the presents. I think it's a really cute idea personally, but also you can look around the map and try specifically to find yourself the music disc. And again, it just adds a cute little thing to it. When you find any music disc, the game tells you that you found them, and you usually have a reward when you end them. Something that is extra fun for any world to have. Looking around, this is already great. Looking around and seeing how this texture pack works, extra fun, but also getting inspiration for Christmas themed or festive themed builds at this time of year is something a lot of people appreciated, but then to have actual games and fun you could have on top of that, before even considering that you could fight each other later in battle, is something that gave this a fun spot in my heart, despite it probably being one of the worst mashups, if I was being totally honest. Like, what else are you going to use this for? Also, don't ask why I'm a cat girl maid. None of my DLC works, so I have to use the free stuff. And this is a free skin that you have on Minecraft Console Edition. By the way, I should point out that I'm focusing on the worlds here, but every one of these mashup packs does have skins, including, by the way, look at this. There's versions of those versions of Steve specifically for Christmas. So Athlete Steve has a Christmas sweater, and Tuxedo Steve has this thing on. And it's a cutesy little addition. Also, some of these skins weren't skins in any traditional Minecraft Java sense, because they were building both the engine and the skins. They could do ridiculous things like a stocking, where as you could look, that's how the stocking moves. How does that make any sense? Don't ask me, but you could get ridiculous skins that got crazier and crazier as things go on, which is something we might have to return to later. But you could also just be Green Santa if you wanted, with a hat that would go outside the normal skin geometry, something which wasn't allowed on any other version until fairly recently. I've become the Ginger Cat, by the way. This is the best I can do for now. So this next mashup pack required going and turning on my PlayStation 4, as well as finding Minecraft PlayStation 4 Edition, because I only own it physically here, then loading up the Bedrock version, where there's a secret little switch if you bought the game before a certain time. Then we can go into play game, we can play offline, and I can find the PlayStation exclusive mashup pack, which is this, the Little Big Planet world. This is something interesting. Each of the console edition branches has their own exclusive mashup pack, and in the case of PlayStation, it's Little Big Planet. And the only reason I went through all of that work is to show you something fun on this edition, where, by the way, I'm also not an Ocelot, because they never released the Ocelot skin here. So this is a fun little small area that you have, but if you go into this chest, they not only give... Oh, why can't I open the chest, actually? There we go. You get yourself a cake, and you get 8 apples. I don't know what that's meant to be, actually. But let's go on Patience Are a Virtue, maybe Boomtown. In fact, there's a bunch of different levels that they have right here, and this is one of the more fun mashup packs, because they try to take the gameplay of the original as literally as they could into Minecraft, and it results in something very strange. And I'm going to go down this minecart track to show you exactly what I mean by that. So, as you can see, this is fun enough by itself. I think the 4J team got better and better with working with minecarts, and the results are very fun, not only in terms of the transition screens they built. This is effectively a loading screen that they've piled into a minecart. They didn't use teleport blocks, they had access to command blocks, because they wanted to make something as close to a player experience as they could. Did my game crash? Oh, no, oh, that was weird, huh? But because they wanted to make something as close to a player experience as they could, this is what they did instead. And so now we go all the way up. We'll eventually hit a Little Big Planet level, which we can now play. A platformer be built inside of Minecraft. It's not one of the easiest games to transition, but yeah, I think they did a solid job. This is, oh yeah, look at this. There's a whole jungle worth of level around here, and it's so cool the first time you experience that. Yeah, one of my favorite game franchises can be played right here on the console edition without having to do too much extra work. I thought that was so clever personally, and that's before we mention the music from this pack, by the way. I hate to shill too much for this thing, but for real, know, this was such an interesting mashup pack that it encouraged me to buy Little Big Planet on my otherwise gameless PlayStation 4, and it has to be said that that counts for something, right? Also, as always, music disc hunt, which I think is fun. Anyway, this was the PlayStation 4 exclusive map, and it was the next one to release. There was another exclusive we'll get into later, but for now, there was a All Editions mashup pack which launched, because this cross-platform release was the first time 4J Studios had made unique IP to add to Minecraft. This is the Greek mythology mashup pack, and you can already tell just from looking around the spawn how epic this truly was, because a lot of their studios seem to have an interest in, mythology of different forms. 4J Studios worked on adding not just a Greek mythology pack, which was fun by itself, but also later an Egyptian mythology pack, which includes everything you'd expect, the Sphinx and the pyramids and everything in between, as well as, of course, a whole batch of Egyptian skins, and even a texture pack which learned from a lot of these mistakes, being fairly useful in survival Minecraft, as well as to build pyramids inside of these maps, something which is very fun. Oh, look at that, by the way. That's a Mesa biome. That's a cutesy addition. They also released the Chinese mythology mashup pack, which maybe didn't hit the same numbers as the previous two packs, but definitely found its niche and was very appreciated by people who had this very focused part of history as their favorite part and could enjoy it inside of Minecraft. And then following on from the festive mashup pack, there is a compelling horror experience, and it's not just me. One of my most viewed live streams ever, with something like 700,000 views, is just me playing through this map, trying to find all the discs. It is like a horror house where you genuinely do have to go through a lot of very spooky things, minecart rides and challenges included, and it makes it one of the most interesting maps to the community to this day. It has to be worth mentioning, though, that unlike all of the other mashups where they built everything from scratch, there already was a Halloween texture pack, and there already was a Halloween skin pack. They just kind of added the world on top of it, and so maybe that's why it was so great in the minds of YouTube viewers, it seems. But yeah, this was the extent of their own personal packs. They did also, at the same time as working on these things, try to get the licenses for much bigger packs, which is why we saw one of the most incredible collaborations we've seen Minecraft do to this day. It was when they convinced Nintendo that they could use the Super Mario name to build a full mashup pack, which they released for free when they released Minecraft Wii U Edition. This is the Nintendo exclusive, and my god, I love every part of this world. They pay homage to the 2D Marios, they pay homage to Super Mario 64 and the castle, and even Super Mario Sunshine, one of my personal favorites. I love that they built this world, and that's on top of being able to play as Waluigi or Peach or Luigi or Mario or whoever you want to. This was one of the most incredible pieces of DLC ever, and it would be hard to follow that up. However, it seems as though 4J were reading into my brain, because the next mashup pack they released went absolutely apocalyptically, because this is Minecraft Fallout Edition. Oh my god, look at this. They've got the Pip-Boy menu. I love the Fallout series. Fallout New Vegas is a personal favorite of mine. Genuinely is part of why I love the city of Las Vegas and lived there for as long as I did. I love the Fallout franchise, and to see it come to Minecraft was incredible. Maybe it was inevitable after, obviously the previous connection they had with Todd Howard from Bethesda, but it's still insane to me to see how they paid homage, not just to Fallout 4, which was the newest game at the time. It had just come out, so here's the settlement and Fallout 4 and all of that stuff, but also they managed to pay homage to other games in the franchise, and not just Fallout 3 and New Vegas, like you might expect, but also to, look at this, here's Diamond City, by the way, but also lots of tiny little pieces of the earlier Fallout games too. I love this mashup pack, and honestly, it doesn't even have much of a back, it doesn't fit the Minecraft theme at all, in my opinion. Like, going around an apocalyptic world just doesn't really fit Minecraft, even though you could argue that Minecraft is an apocalypse, but I still found this to be so interesting and so amazingly compelling, and maybe that's just me, but that is a big part of what I see, and so yeah, this is this is just something I love to look at. And how could Minecraft top this? Well, I'd argue they didn't necessarily, but they did release more mashup packs anyway. The Pirates of the Caribbean map certainly was a first, because instead of being based on a video game or just the generic concept of mythology, as we'd seen 4 times before, this was based on a movie franchise, or, maybe based on some books, you could argue, but it was done with a deal with Disney, which meant that, wow, you could play in the Pirates of the Caribbean world, except it's here in Minecraft. I thought this was pretty cool, even though if it wasn't my jam, being able to experience any world inside of Minecraft always was compelling. Maybe not as compelling as the Nightmare Before Christmas. I remember I used to love this movie as a child. I'd want to watch it over and over again. I can't tell you anything that happens in there besides the big spooky skeleton man, but as you can see, being able to look around this world is something that is just so cool and follows this exact same trend of following movies, something they did break for the next mashup, even if only because Steven Universe is technically a TV show, but yeah, this is one of those shows that has a cult following online. It's one I tried to watch a few episodes of just to understand exactly what was going on, but it's a very, very, very strange show, and maybe I'm not the demographic for it. You tell me in the comments down below, I guess. But the interesting thing about this mashup pack was how they were willing to make mashups of basically anything, it seemed. If there was a community who wanted to see it in Minecraft, they would do so, and sadly, this was towards the end of the console edition era, and so there was just one more mashup pack. Although I think Toy Story is a pretty good one to go out on. I love this because it has that same perspective I'm always saying I enjoy of having you be tiny in a massive environment. And indeed, it's like I'm a toy in Toy Story, you could say. They had lots of different Toy Story movies represented here. So you have Toy Story 1 and the house and all that noise. You have Toy Story 3 with the daycare, but you also have Toy Story 2 and Al's barn, and it's all a giant street where you can walk and fly around it if you really want to. I feel like walking would be very tedious for the size of some of these things. The scale of these builds were incredible, and personally, I thought it was a great send-off to the idea. Oh look, it's not just the first 3 Toy Stories. There's more in here as well. I thought it's the antique store. Oh no, watch out for the creepy thing in there. My point of this is to say that the mashup packs definitely had a really serious game progression right here till the end. However, it's worth mentioning by the time that this Toy Story mashup came out, bear in mind that they raised the price to $5.99 after Fallout. There was a potential over $100 just in mashup packs you could spend alone, and that's before considering that when you go to the skin pack menu, you can see that, oh dear God, they added so many in here too, that we're talking about dozens of skin packs alongside texture packs, resulting in over $200 and about $300 DLC that Minecraft console editions had by the time it was continued. This sounds like an insane amount. This makes it sound like this is where the dark part in the video comes, because wow, I can't believe Minecraft, a game famous for being $20, wanted you to spend $300 if you wanted all of the content. But believe me when I say this was the inspiration for Mojang to say, wait, so the console edition makes sometimes up to $300 in additional sales from people. Why aren't we getting in on that? And so first of all, they started by releasing these very same maps and mashups on the Bedrock edition, which I guess we should mention at least briefly. Why is it that these mashups have different names? So these are the 16 mashup packs released by 4J Studios and then later re-released by Minecraft for the Bedrock edition, and you'll notice how 4 of them have changed names. The N7 mashup pack, the Master Chief mashup pack, the Dragonborn mashup pack, and the Vault-Tec mashup pack. What do these 4 packs have in common that required them to have their names changed is the mystery that I couldn't work out, but I spoke to someone at 4J Studios, and apparently the answer is fairly simple. It is that when these were released, they released using titles that have a higher age rating than Minecraft. And again, kind of just trying to be politically sensitive, they're like, what if people argue that we're letting them play 16 games but inside of Minecraft? And so just to avoid that controversy before it hit, they deliberately changed the names as kind of like a legal avoidance mechanism. This isn't a Fallout mashup pack, it's a Vault-Tec mashup, and they just, I guess, hope that the sorts of parents who get mad at that stuff wouldn't know that the Master Chief is the Halo thing, or the Dragonborn is Skyrim, and indeed, N7 is the least recognizable of all of these. Is this a good thing? Is this a smart thing? Does this make any sense, or is it legally required? Probably no to all of those questions. However, it is something that has happened anyway.
Alright guys, with that being said, that's probably where I'm going to end this stream for the moment. I do hope you all enjoyed, hope you're all having a great day. I'll attempt to stream a little more later on, but at the moment I'm going to try to do some stuff in real life and proceed to just duplicate these shulkers, because I got this dupe glitch working. So yeah, we're just going to rock with that for a little and see if we can't get her going. So yeah, I do hope you all enjoyed. Again, hope you're having a great day, and I will catch you all on another stream, hopefully. And peace out, everyone. See ya.